And the post-processing is going to include either a vacuum oven. There's going to also be tables in there for collection, for product handling, and then a cold storage. So it's important, people always forget the cold storage, and then they're sitting there and they don't have anywhere to store their extracts when they're done with it. So they end up taking it home, and that's against the law in Oregon.
What kind of temperature does that cold storage need?
It can be just standard fridge temperature,
Cool.
just to keep it, yeah.
So real quick while we're recording, that's the extraction room in the top, separated from everything else by dead space.
Yeah, 2 doors that's sealed,
And then whatever else you want to do out there.
yeah,
Office,
this is your
workroom.
post-processing and lab room.
What about the other 3 walls of the extract room? It's okay for them to just be exterior walls?
So, yeah, it's fine for that. They all have their own. Again, the fire code is going to be slightly different, and they're going to write up their own rules for, how long the drywall burns. There's certain specifications that drywall has, that it's like a 5-hour burn, or they might require something that's a longer burn on extraction facilities or lab facilities in general, because of the fact that you may be using ethanol in your process. So,
And this is Oregon or most states?
most states. And we do recommend that our users have a supplemental extraction program implemented into their system, because you're not always going to have extract that come out perfect. There may be a time that you get bad material, you need to process it anyways. Having an ethanol extraction process, that's what it's there for, is to clean up dirty extracts. And so when you do have that case where it's not quite the way that you want, having an additional ethanol extraction process in place is really beneficial. And then not only that, it's also very beneficial because you can use the ethanol to clean all of your equipment, and then evaporate out the ethanol, and you have an RSO. You can reuse your ethanol after that, so distill it off, collect all the cleaning, rinse safe, and then after the fact, recollect and reuse your ethanol.
So you end up with RSO when you clean the system with ethanol?
Well, more or less, if you are going to use a still to boil off the ethanol, then in that case you would. If you were to use a distillation setup, then it would just be a standard ethanol extract.
So recapturing every little bit then.
Concentrate, yeah. I mean, this really has the ability to be a very green process if done correctly. And that's why ethanol, I think, is a good supplement. It shouldn't be a requirement. This produces perfectly good extracts that ethanol would destroy if you put it in. And we don't want that to happen. We want to keep the integrity of the extract. But for cleaning...
how would you go about cleaning the machine?
Sure. So the process is pretty straightforward. After each extraction, whether you do 1 chamber or you do 10, you're going to clean this hose all the way through. You open up your collection chambers, you clean out the collection. The inline fraction slides out the back, it opens up. You would clean from here, and then there's another hose that goes down to the filter and clean the filter. So that's done every single time. So not too comprehensive from here to here, and again using ethanol or some other solvent. Acetone works really, really well, but you can't reuse acetone. Right. It's not nearly as green.
Right.
And then basically once every 2 weeks, you're going to go through and remove all the hoses, clean those out with ethanol, and then on every other cycle, when you're doing the hose cleaning, beforehand you would do a dry run, where you would fill the system up with CO2, you would turn on the heat, let the temperature build and the pressure build, and run it for about 20 minutes to a half hour on each column, decompress the system, and then go through and clean all the hoses.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it as far as the cleaning goes.